So it is May the 12th. It's finally dried up enough and warmed up enough here in Kentucky that I can finish getting our garden put out. So I'm going to till this up for the last time. I've already tilled it up 3 times since we moved the chickens off. And I'm just going to run over it one more time to fluff it up, and then we're going to get a drip irrigation system put down. So I'm going to get my tiller out and get ready to till this. Hopefully we can get it done tonight. And then tomorrow we will plant all of our seeds. So let's get started. Just a quick overview of the garden. The plot that I have staked off, you can see rebar and garden stakes. It is 30 foot wide and 80 foot long, and I've just went one path around it with my tiller, so a 2-foot strip outside around it with my tiller. And I have it sectioned off into 4 plots that are 30 foot by 20 foot. That way I can rotate my crops. And on my row spacing, I basically use 2 row spacings each time. I do either a 5-foot row spacing or a 30-inch row spacing. So per plot, 5-foot row spacing will give me 4 rows in this plot. 30-inch row spacing will give me 8 rows per this plot. And most of the crops that I grow in here, all the crops that I'll grow in this situation will fit within that, and then I just change the in-row spacing. To put down the drip tape, I'm going to mark out my rows for the crops we're going to grow, and then I'm going to take my wheel hoe with my plows and dig my trench to put the drip irrigation down. The kit I bought came with 20 end rows, so I'll be able to do 20 rows. So I'm going to go ahead and get my wheel hoe ready, and we'll mark out all these rows and get all of the rows lined out, and then we will start putting the drip tape down. So I have to take this oscillating hoe off of this double wheel hoe and put my plows on it. I bought this, it come with 4 teeth, and I bought the plow set that come with both plows. So I would really recommend the plows. This oscillating hoe does pretty good in this sandy soil, but for the rockier soils, the teeth works better, and I'll usually end up using the teeth most of the time during the season. But I would definitely recommend getting the plows so you can dig your trenches and cover them back up. It makes really good for planting your garden and just digging all your trenches and everything. It's really going to make it handy to put this drip irrigation system down. But to take this off, all you do is loosen these nuts, and then you just position these on the toolbar in the plow setting, and then we'll go down through here and mark all these rows and go ahead and dig all the trenches, and then I'll just lay the tape out by hand because I don't have the attachment yet for this to lay the drip tape out. There we go. Ready to go. So to lay out my rows, all I use is 100-foot tape line and a few of these 2-foot fiberglass stakes that I get off of Amazon. I think that's where I got these from. And I have my drip irrigation system here ready to put in. Never put one in before, so this is probably going to take a pretty good while for me to figure it out, but we'll see what happens. We'll do it a plot at a time to make this easy. All I do is loop this over top of my piece of rebar, then take it down to my other piece of rebar, and then I can go down through here and do my 5-foot row spacing. So 20-foot plot, 5-foot row spacing. That means your first row is going to start half of that, so 2.5 feet in. So we're going to do 2 1/2 feet. So I'll put a stake here. My next mark, I'll just put a line in the dirt, and my stake will be on the other side of the garden. That way I don't have to use so many stakes, and I can just start at the one that doesn't have the stake with my plow and go straight towards my stake so I get good straight lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark the rest of these out, and then we'll dig the trenches. So you can see stake, 5 foot, mark in the dirt, 5 foot stake, mark in the dirt. Now I'm going to go to the other side, and this row will start with a stake on that side. On this one, whenever I done my stake at the 2 1/2 foot mark, I went ahead and moved my tape line onto it so I can just go 5, 10, 15 for my next 3 rows instead of having to try and count every 1/2 foot like I did on the other side, because I got mixed up a few times. So I've got these 4 rows marked out now, so all I have to do now is go get that wheel hoe. I'm going to start at the first row that has the mark in the dirt, and I'm just going to walk out these rows real fast. It shouldn't take a few minutes. Okay, so there's the first plot. You can make fairly straight rows that way. I tried to make sure I dug it really deep so I can make sure that my drip tape is underneath the soil always, and down there where the root system is. I got the drip tape, and I got the fertilizer injector as well. I think it's a 2-gallon injector, so we'll be able to pump a little fertilizer to them too. But that's the first plot on 5 foot spacing. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay the rest of these out and get the trenches dug, and then we'll start laying this kit out and see how easy it is to hook up. I feel like it's gonna be pretty easy. So my next one will be 5 rows here for our corn, and then we will do 4 and 4 in those 2 plots, just like we did this one. That's how we keep weeds out of the garden.
What?
That's how we keep weeds out of the garden. You take your mower through there. Is that your tiller?
Yeah.
You did a good job, dude.
I think there's some more.
Okay. Just don't mow over the plants. We want to eat those later. Okay?
Oh. Is that good to eat right now?
Yeah, we probably want to wash it off. There's a little dirt on it from when it rained the other day.
Is it ready to eat?
Well, yep, we could cut that and eat it now. Okay, so you have picked and washed your lettuce. You gonna try your bite now? Dad's gonna try something too. I got a little bit of dirt in mine. I don't think I washed it good enough. Let's unbox this and see what all we've got.
Why are you opening it so fast?
Because we're running out of daylight. Okay, so that looks like the fertilizer injector. Oh, we're not going to need it just yet. That's the main line, 100 foot of it.
100 foot of it?
Hole puncher.
Hole puncher.
All of our row ends.
All our row ends.
And row starters.
Row starters.
Say, this is the drip tape.
Drip tape.
And the big roll of drip tape. From what I can calculate, this one row should last me 3 seasons.
And this thing?
Yep, that is the filter regulator combo. Can you say that?
Filter regulator combo.
Directions and some stickers. Probably gonna put that one on my lawnmower.
No, I need those stickers.
You need that sticker? Well, maybe we'll have to order something else so they can send us some more. Does that sound good?
No, I need.
Okay, well don't mess it up.
What?
Dad really does want to put that on his lawnmower.
Well, I'm gonna put them on my lawnmower.
Okay.
I'm gonna put them on right now.
Okay, directions. I'm gonna put this in the center row. So I'm gonna go ahead and stretch out the main line, set some bricks or something on the end of it, and then I'm going to cut it in the middle and put this in the center of it with my T-splitter that come with the pack. So let's get started. I found me a couple cinder blocks to use to hold this down. That worked out pretty good. Didn't do it on purpose, but if you use something really heavy on the other end of it, you can kind of just use yourself as a reel. There is a couple of kinks in it. You can see one that was right here that was kinked off, but you can just pinch those out. See, it was kinked like that. You can just pinch that out, and once the sun hits that and we get it filled full of water, I shouldn't have no trouble about that. But I've got my blue line facing the direction of my rows, just like they say to do, so we can get all of the holes for the drip tape and the row starters all in the same line. So I'm just going to set this block on this end. I stretched it tight. Scared me, buddy. Okay, so that was very easy. I've got it all stretched out. All I did was, you can see I put it about a foot to 18 inches away from my stakes, which is where the beginning of my rows are going to be. And I'll just leave that first little section of the drip tape up out of the soil. That way I can get my hoe up under. I've got a bat wing hoe that I can just slide right up underneath it and get the weeds out from under it whenever they start germinating there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put our filter regulator. This is the center. We have 4 plots here, so there's 2 plots there and 2 plots there. So I'm going to put it right here in the center with our T, and our water hose hookup is probably less than 20 feet. You can see it right there. So I'll be able to just run a water hose straight out here and hook it up when we're ready to turn it on. Looks good enough.
I'm gonna get on your back.
That's in the center now. All we have to do now is crimp off the 2 ends of the main line, and we'll be ready to put the drip tape down and bury it. Okay, so I went ahead and hooked up the water hose just to flush this main line out, mainly because some little boy decided he wanted to shove dirt up in there. So I'm gonna crimp this end off while it's still running, because this is downhill and there's no water running out the other side.
Look the camera. What's happening if you do that to the camera?
Yeah. It's that simple. I have both ends crimped now. I flushed them before I crimped them, and I turned it off before I done the last one, obviously. Okay, so I'm back out here this morning. I didn't get time to finish all of it last night, but I got the main line down. I got it flushed out and crimped off. So now I'm just going to start laying the drip tape down and get it buried up. So let's get started. Looks good. Now all I have to do is take the wheel hoe over it with my plows on it and cover them up. Okay, main lines are down and all of the drip tape is laid and buried. Now all I have to do is hook the row starters up, flush the lines, and crimp the ends of them off, and we'll be ready to plant. Still some water in the lines where I crimped it, or where I flushed it. Okay, all of the row starters are on, and I've got the water turned on to flush the ends out. Looks like they're all going. All of the end crimps are on and everything's buried, hooked up, ready to go. All we have to do now is just turn the water on and wait for the water to start coming up where all the emitters are, and we can start planting. That took some time, but in the long run it's going to save me a lot of time moving sprinklers and packing containers to fertilize my plants and all that stuff. So a little bit extra work, but it's going to make the rest of my season easy. So got it installed. Now all we have to do is plant.